Good afternoon. It's our second instalment this afternoon on day 3 of the Betfred World Championship. John, Stephen and myself are looking forward to more tasty morsels because we've already had a number of excellent things to chew over this morning, not least the final and deciding session between the world number 5, Barry Hawkins, and the man who has pushed him so close, Matthew Selt, the world number 30. It was a battling performance from Selt, who'd been 7-2 and 9-4 behind, won 5 in a row, including 2 back-to-back centuries along the way, to force this final frame decider. It was a stunning turnaround, and albeit that Selt would get to the table eventually, it was contributions of 32 and 43, which would be the difference between the two men. It halted Selt's momentum, and the former runner-up here regained his composure in that final frame decider and made his experience count today. Selt kept plugging away, but it was to no avail. Great effort from Matthew, but a very relieved Barry spoke to Rob Walker afterwards.
Barry, congratulations. I think many people, including you, would have thought this match could have been over a long time ago.
Oh, not when it comes to my matches, no, definitely not. Especially after last year when Dominic come back at me, the same sort of thing, and it happened again today. I mean, I didn't miss that many, but I just kept running out of position a few times and that. So, and Matthew played some. He played great, to be fair, coming back at me, you know. So it's so hard to stay calm out there, especially at 9-all. But I've done it before, and I just said to myself, just one chance, you know, and just try and keep your composure. And I'm so relieved to get through that match. Yeah.
I wonder how much of a part your experience played, because it took you 6 attempts to win a match here at the Crucible, but you've got that run to the final 2 years ago, semis last year. How crucial was that in those moments in that last frame when you had to pull it all together?
Oh, massively, you know, especially when the curtain goes up. You've got the whole arena to yourself again. So, yeah, that stood me in good stead, you know, for that last frame. But after the way Matt come back at me, you know, so you can miss absolutely anything out there, you know. So I'm pleased the way I held myself together, and I played well, you know, to go 7-2 up, and I felt like I've been hitting the ball well, but just a little bit more confidence maybe, and that comes by winning matches. So, but I'm relieved to be in the next round, and yeah, I'm delighted, yeah.
Do you think it demonstrates that the qualifiers come in match ready because they've come through 3 matches? Mark Selby taken to a decider, McGill beats Maguire in a decider. The guys who've come through from Pond's Forge have made a really good effort here. Yeah,
no, it just shows there's a lot of close matches, and they're, like you say, they're match sharp. You know, you can look at it the other way, saying they may be a little bit fatigued, but not when you come here the first round. You know, everyone's buzzing. So yeah, they're match sharp, and they're not scared about playing out there anymore. So yeah, they're all tough matches. They're all banana skins, and there's no easy draws anymore.
Well, you've come through yours. Speaking about the draw, Mark Allen or Ryan Day, I presume, having just come off, you're not bothered. You're just happy to be in the second round.
Yeah, I'm happy. I don't care who comes through that one, to be honest. And but that's going to be another cracking game. You know, Ryan's getting a bit of form back, and obviously Mark Allen's a class player. So yeah, I'll be watching it, but. Yeah, I'm just going to relax now and enjoy my time off the next few days.
I think you need to go for a lie down. We all do. Well done, Barry.
Oh, cheers, mate. Thanks. Oh.
Yeah, congratulations. He's certainly survived a real onslaught from Matthew Selt today, and congratulations to him on what was a tremendous effort this morning. So, Barry's mopped his brow, and so are we, and we are ready for more today. We've got the greatest overseas player in history to watch in Australia's Neil Robertson. We've got the greatest world title prospect in Asia's history as China's Ding Junhui gets underway. We've got a lot to talk about as well with some of the most distinguished reporters in the sport, and we've got 2 top blokes in tow as well.
And coming up later in the show, I'm going to be trying to leave Richard Osman pointless.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Yes, really, Richard, sorry. Well, one man that everyone seems to see as a threat this year for the title is Neil Robertson, who's quite simply the best player ever to have emerged in the game from outside the British Isles, and the only one from outside the British Isles to have claimed all three of the sport's main titles, the so-called Triple Crown. But, you know, he'd love to join yet another exclusive group of only 5 men who've become multiple world champions here at the Crucible.
It's always a fantastic feeling to come up to Sheffield every year, especially this time of year when the weather's much nicer as well. And yeah, always get a very special feeling driving past the Crucible. And my preparation's been absolutely fantastic coming in. Probably the most I've ever practiced for a tournament since I can remember. So I've done everything right leading into the tournament. Just need that little bit of luck. Making 100 centuries last year was obviously, especially the celebration when I did it, as if I'd made my first ever century or something as a kid. The pressure that I was under for probably 3 months to become the first player to make 100 centuries. I believe it's a record that will probably be beaten, I think. I think it's possible from our tournaments we have. But, I really wanted to be the first. Everyone remembers the first. It's 4 years without me winning it. Since then, I think 3 out of the 4 years where I've been defeated, twice I've lost to the winner and the other time I lost to the runner-up. So the players that have been beating me have been at the top of the game and have been worthy champions in their own right. So I've been very close. Just need to put another run together and hopefully the luck can go my way this year.
Well, I'm very sure that we've got quite a number of Neil Robertson fans in our audience here in the Winter Gardens, and let's just show you who he's going to be facing, because he's already had one session against this man. It's Jamie Jones from near Neath, actually, Kimla in Wales. He's known as the Kimla Quiff, and I know that everybody in the Kimla Social Club is always following his every move, and they always tweet him their very best respects and good wishes. Now, this man caused a bit of a storm here 3 years ago because he turned up and he beat the 2005 champion Shaun Murphy in round 1, and then went on an extraordinary run, knocking in 7 centuries along the way as he got to the quarter-finals. He was eventually beaten 13 frames to 11 by Ali Carter, who said afterwards what an awesome prospect he is. So where's he been the last 3 years? Because that was really his best progress. Well, he's been trying to get back, is the honest answer. And after beating Adam Duffy in the final qualifying match, he tweeted, because he's a big user of social media, that it was get in there. He was desperate to get back. And he was only too happy to answer some of the questions of the Sheffield public in the virtual world.
How happy are you with your form coming into the World Championships?
I'm very happy with my form. I started the season a little bit slowly, so the second half of the season really picked up for me. I've gotten to a few last 16s of events. It's more consistency than anything, so I've been building up to the World Championship, and I really feel like I'm coming into it in some fantastic form.
Your last appearance here in Sheffield was 2012. What memories do you have from then?
I've got fantastic memories of 2012, my debut at the Crucible. A dream draw for me, playing Shaun Murphy, a former world champion. Just tried to go into the match and enjoy it, and I certainly did that. I played my best, probably the best snooker of my life up until then, and got to the quarters and narrowly got beaten by Ali Carter. Just fantastic memories, happy memories, and try and make some more for this time.
What lessons do you feel you've learnt from 2012?
I felt after 2012 I didn't really put enough work into my game. I had a great time here, and I was coming out here with a lot of confidence, and I just felt that things may have come a little bit easier for me, and I didn't put enough work in, and I realised that, and I've made amends now by working harder than ever.
You're playing Neil Robertson. What are your thoughts being drawn against him in your opening match?
A very difficult draw. He's one of the best players in the world, previous world champion. He's won everything there is to win in the game. I know I'm going to get a very tough match against Neil, so I've got to play my best snooker, take all my chances, and maybe I'll have a chance.
Well, yesterday's opening session didn't go the way that the Welshman at least had hoped it would, because he ran into an Australian who was, in quite simply, imperious form.
Well, there's an example of the single ball potting. And Neil Robertson, who takes the opening frame. A magnificent break of 1-4-3. Neil Robertson has set the target and he leads 3 frames to 0. Once again, it's come out absolutely perfect. This has been a masterclass. He leads by 5 frames to 0. So this for the century. Middle hole, middle.
Oh, unbelievable.
Well done. Good pot, that. It's there. Well played, JB Jones. Well, that puts the frame beyond any reasonable doubt.
So 7-2 to the Australian after that opening session, and in the first of their afternoon, which began at 2:30, well, the Australian was in wonderful form once again. This was him on the way to his 3rd century of this match, and it's a 1-3-3 break from Neil Robertson, taking him over the 50 centuries mark for the season. He really is in great form. Now, we are going to join them with Neil Robertson 8-2 in front now in frame 11. And right there is Dennis Taylor and Ken Doherty watching.
Thank you very much, Hazel. And as you join us, Neil's just slipped slightly out of position here. He's got a healthy 37-point advantage. He just ran out of position when he got in earlier, and then Jamie got back in again. Needs to miss the green here. A wee bit unlucky that. Yeah, he did get in after Neil missed a toughish one, and he just put it onto the left jaw, and that was a real good chance. But he's been sat in his seat, as Hazel said. That 133 clearance was magnificent. It's a must-win frame for Jamie here.
Yeah, he has a chance at a long red here. Try and find the gap between red and pink. It's certainly not easy and fraught with danger, but must take it on. Well played. Now, how's your luck? Needs to slow up to be on the yellow, even to the right centre. He's okay. He has a chance. Excellent pot. That was a good pot as well.
Yeah, just at this stage, Jamie's just playing for a bit of pride, isn't he? He wants, he's 6 frames behind. He just wants to show everybody how he can play. He's a terrific cueist, so it'd be nice if we could get a couple more frames here. We've seen plenty of comebacks already this year. We're only in day 3, so you know, as long as your opponent needs a couple of frames, you always feel you've got a bit of a chance. That was a lovely little scene when he won his first frame, 6-0 down, and he wagged his fist at the crowd.
10.
Well, just he did have a look at the scores a couple of times. He'll pot this pink. You go 20 points behind. Now, He's got to do his calculations. There you see him looking at the score again. If he takes the blue, that'll be 14 points behind with the colours left, so he's going to need the black.
And that's what it's all about, isn't it? The black tight and the cushion.
He could take the pink here, Dennis, and be, you know, he'll need the pink just to go 7 ahead with the black remaining.
That wouldn't be a bad choice either, with the black being safe, at least. And there would be a possible 2 goes at the black, so that's what he's working out at the moment. But it's not a good angle to drop on the pink here, is it?
Looks like. Yeah, just, well, I'm not quite sure what he did there.
18.
He needs to travel to have the blue into the corner pocket, and, well, he's in no man's land. He was so preoccupied with the scores there. He completely forgot about position, and that is a chance missed.
Jimmy Jones, 18.
Well, this could be a free ball, and it might give away 7. It does.
Jimmy Jones 7. Free ball.
And it is a free ball. Well, he's having it put back. Zhang Wei Li, one of our new referees from China. He never even thought about it. He thought, no, let's just have it put back.
Well, the fact that he's hit the black there, Dennis, that makes a huge difference. Now he's only 12 behind, so he doesn't need that black that's tight on the bottom cushion. So if he gets a chance at this yellow, he can win with all the, just the 5 colours. Yellow to pink will do. A 4-point snooker, and he would have needed the black. The fact that he gave away 7 points now, this frame virtually rests on the yellow ball.
I think he's snookered, though. He's been rather fortunate there, Neil. Let's have, yeah, look at that. So what a result for the Australian there. It was fairly comfortable snooker to get out of, but that was a bonus to get the snooker back. Where are these going to finish? That's the difference. That is the difference. When you're playing well, you get the little run of the ball. When you're behind and you're struggling a little bit, everything you do, you never get away with it. Well, he couldn't have hit that any better for the rest. That was a terrific shot, and well, the frame's there for the taking now, and it almost certainly looks like 9-2. And Jamie's hopes
5
disappearing with each shot here. Bit unlucky to stick that up. A bit fortunate for Neil to fluke the snooker back, but that's the nature of the game.
Nine.
So we had 133 clearance in the opening frame of this session. And that pink, well, he's going to have the black as well. Doesn't have to. Just drop it in, dead weight, clinging to the cushion there. And best possible start for the Australian. He's won the 2 opening frames, and now he's just 1 frame away from a place in the second round. 9-2 to Neil Robertson.
And he looks completely serene out there so far. John, you were commentating on the opening session. What were your impressions of this man yesterday?
The funny thing is that frame sort of summed up the match, because Jamie Jones had his chances but lost control of the cue ball. He ended up having to play snooker there behind the blue when he, you know, on the last red, inexplicably didn't get on a colour. I spoke to him last night. He just said he didn't really have the cue ball on a string like he'd like it, and he kept running out of position. And his safety play, in fairness, wasn't quite tight enough. The higher you go up and the better play you play, the nearer that cue ball has got to be to the ball cushion, and it just wasn't tight enough, and Neil kept getting in.
Yeah, and when you think back on that opening session, Neil was 6-0 up, and actually when Jamie won the first of his 2 frames towards the end, he did the old Dennis Taylor in celebration. He's a really rumbustious player. He's got great fire and great fight, but he just has not been able to get going in this match. So
No, and to be fair, he's up against one of the favourites for the competition, so he couldn't have had a much tougher draw. But yeah, it's hard. The longer the matches are, it's harder sometimes obviously to get your first frame on, especially goes 1, 2, 3, 4. And then you start thinking, is it going to be 10-0, something like that? So it's just the sheer release when you win that frame.
It starts off frustrating and becomes embarrassing. That's what happens as it goes further on. And of course, as you say quite rightly, when he won his first frame, he was delighted to celebrate. And it's really been the story of it. He's just not quite been at the races where Robertson's been concerned. He's just been a little bit too good for him.
OK, well, Robertson trying to get over the line here for what could and should be a pretty emphatic victory.
As Neil Robertson breaks off frame 12. Can Jamie Jones stop the rot this afternoon? As the match time comes up to almost 4 hours.
What?
Yeah, great shot. Oh, I say a great shot. There's a red just gone to the right of the black, which hasn't helped. Decided to bring a few more reds into play there, and just look at that red going to the right of the black. He needs to keep going.
7.
Just coming up a bit short, so he may have to take it up into the corner. Well, now he's going for the middle. The fact that he's got the rest out. And that's typical there.
12.
There might just be one at the back of the bunch. Yeah, there you see it. There's a gap through for that one.
And
that's what John Parrott was talking about. We seen Jamie last night. He was out with his dad, and he was saying he was just struggling to keep the cue ball under control. He's just gone a little too far for the blue there. But if this goes in, he's going to go into that bunch of reds again. Oh, a bit unlucky. He didn't catch it as he intended there. That's why he slipped back up the table. So he's got a
18.
very difficult pot. We'll just show you there. He's wanted to hit that red full ball, didn't he, Ken?
Yeah, he just caught the side of it, and of course the side spin on the cue ball has brought it all the way up. He'll have a chance though. Oh, nice shot. Good recovery when he's nicely on the brown or yellow. Brown will be his choice. Good recovery, that.
Well, it's worth another look. Come on, Jamie, give us a century here. Give your fans something to cheer about, and all the people watching back in Wales.
short of the blue, but pink is on, of course, but where does the pink go? He's reluctant to take the pink because he's going to tie it up, but well, will it go on its spot there? If it doesn't, it'll go behind that red, so it may block it to a potable position. So blue in and out of bog. There's two reds just above the black. If you can get on the one that's closest to the black, it would be nice. But again, just shorter
29.
pace. Now, this will certainly open up the black if he pots this. How's the cue ball? Not too bad.
I'm just looking if he was to take the black where it would go, it might just tie it up. And he's going to have to take it because he's too close to the blue and it's a bit of a stretch to get to the pink. That's pretty good. He knows that the black's going to be tied up, but he's got the pink and blue to work with. And there you can see that the ball marker tells you that there was enough room on the pink spot.
37.
Maybe not a bad thing, that, because it leaves those two reds around the black spot available if he needs them in a few shots' time. Needs to keep going. Oh, he's finished straight again. It's amazing. Well, is there a slight, let's see how he's bridging. Is there a slight angle there to force it? Yep.
$43.
Yeah, he really needs the red that's covering the black spot, really needs to get that out of the way. Try and get the, even if you can't get the pink onto the black spot at some stage. Certainly not going to win the frame, just potting blues and ball colours. Good shot with the rest. Now stun down, try and get on
44.
that red that's just above the black spot here.
This is going to be his highest break in the match. Up until this it was 47. It's coming just at the right time for Jamie.
He's looking at maybe going into the black and the reds as well. That is an option. But you're always trusting a little bit of luck, and it hasn't worked out. Just felt if he got that red, Dennis, the one that was on the black
49.
spot, back up, got the pink on its spot, there were still more options there for him.
Yeah, he was trusting a little bit to luck. It's the sort of shot you play if you're way behind, but I'm sure he worked out. I'm just trying to think if he had been able to score enough to win the frame without developing those. He had another couple of reds, a couple of high-valued colours. Anyway, that's gone, and Neil's still in this frame, a frame that would get him into the second round if he could win it.
This cue ball looks good. It looks very good. Excellent shot. Well done.
Well, at first glance, he'd have to land on that red. It wouldn't be easy to do that, and even if he did that, he'd leave a red for the right corner. He'd have to land on the red that's to the right of the black spot, and if he did land on that from behind, things would be fairly safe, but because the reds are open, it's not straightforward. I'd be having a go at that, but is he trying the 2 cushion? Back down the table. Yeah, he's played it well. That's such a difficult shot to judge. Very first player I ever seen play that shot was the Canadian Cliff Thorburn. 2 cushion and flick off the red. Yeah, it was very well judged, that last shot, because if he hits it full ball or half ball, he's going to leave them. But just to be able to snick it like that takes some judgment.
Well, just looking, the green is knocked over behind the brown, so it is a big target. I'm just wondering whether Neil can swing this cue ball off 3, possibly 4 cushions. Get around behind the green. Putting a lot of bottom right hand side on this. Watch the cue ball here swing around. There's 1, 2, 3 and 4. Oh, what a great effort. Excellent shot. He's covered the reds down the left hand side of the table. The pink has covered him, and he's snookered him on the 2 reds over the right hand side cushion. So although it's not behind the green, it's still a snooker, and it's going to be very difficult to get safe from here.
And that's what Jamie's looking at. A virtual picture there. Not very inviting, is it? Might be forced into taking this pot on. Oh, he was close. But somehow, this time he's got the white through all those reds and tight on the baulk cushion. He'll settle for that. And a big smile from Jamie. He deserves a bit of good fortune. That's nice to see. 9-2 down, and he can give us all a big smile like that. Well, he's looking at a very difficult safety. He's looking to play on that red near the middle pocket to put it onto the jaw of the pocket and back towards the yellow, green and brown. It's not a bad choice of shot. Just got to be careful he doesn't go in off. So he's thinking about it for just over a minute now. Yeah, you don't see this type of shot played very often. But he's brought the red back down. He didn't need to hit it that hard because the angle of the middle pocket would have given it enough pace.
One. 6.
Just gone too far for the red into the right-hand corner pocket, but still, this red should be formality. Well, I say that.
Jimmy Jones 6.
I didn't expect him to miss that. I suppose every pot is a pressure pot now, Dennis, because it could be his last shot, and that's the difficulty and the dilemma he faces, Jamie Jones.
Well, I know Neil's made a few century breaks. 3, in fact, but he seems to be taking quite a bit of time over other shots. Yeah. Well, he said 24 seconds. He's just concerned about the cue ball. It looks as if it would hit the green, but he's got that one into the left middle pocket if he wants.
It doesn't look that difficult, does it? I mean, he can stun it off the bottom cushion for pink or black into the same pocket. The red that's closest to the cue ball it's not that difficult into the left centre.
Well, that's, what, a minute and 23, 24 and counting. Long time over what looks a straightforward shot.
1.
That was always the problem, avoiding the green, but he's okay because he's come past the line there, so that means the yellow is on for him. And now a chance to claw his way back into this frame, and it's a frame that would give him the match.
Well, he's got on that red nicely now.
3.
The only problem is if he puts the black back on its spot, will it be tied up? That's why he hasn't decided to go for the black there, and he's got a kick on that cue ball. It's taken the pace out of it. He's bottom side of the blue now. You see it just stopping its tracks.
Yeah, it was one of those. He couldn't play for the pink or the black, because if he played for the pink, it would have went on the black spot and tied that red up. So he's still got the cue power to get right round the table, as Neil, without any problem at all. He'll have to play it with a lot of top spin. You can see him looking at the cue ball where he wants to hit it, right on the top there, as you can see. Watch the white take off. Oh, the yellow has come to Jamie's rescue.
9.
Let's have a look. See, right on the top. If you were to imagine the cue ball being a clock face, he was hitting it at around 12 o'clock.
That's a super shot. Super pot. Again, he's reluctant to put the black on its spot. Pot the black because it will block that red just to the right of the black spot. Could take the yellow in and out of balk. But he may just take the opportunity, put the black on its spot, and maybe dislodge it in a couple of shots' time. £1,000, eh?
I thought you said 1,000 pints there. Okay.
Only if you're paying for that.
Yeah, that's the amount of pints I'm sure big Bill Werbenick, the Canadian, would have consumed in no time at all. Sadly, has been long gone. Bless him.
$18.
Now potting this pink. Needs a nice angle on the last red here. The red that's closest to the top cushion, just so he can dislodge the red up to the right of the black. So he's thinking a few shots ahead here. Oh, looks a little straight. Looks a bit too straight. Jamie Jones
24.
may get a reprieve here. Can he clip the red? Ooh, good attempt.
25.
Excellent effort.
Well, there's 30 points the difference. If he can pot the pink, he'll be 36 in front. Oh, well, Jamie Jones is 30 points in front. I'm getting my players mixed up there, so there's no real value in taking a colour on here.
Well, he just came around there, Dennis. I'm not quite sure whether that red, just that little clip on the red, may have opened it into the left-hand corner pocket. But I think he's playing safe. Cue ball up behind green and brown.
Certainly giving all these shots due care and attention. That's a few of the pretty straightforward shots he's thinking long and hard about.
Yeah, I think when he gets in around the balls, he's pretty quick, but when he's got any sort of difficulty, he does take quite a lot more time than some of the other players, or what he may have done a few years ago.
Neil Robertson, 25.
And for a straightforward shot like that, you would think well over a minute. It's quite a long time, but that's just the way he's been taking this last couple of seasons. Good hit.
Well, now will we see a Neil Robertson special. Jamie goes back to his seat, and he knows he's up against one of the greatest potters the game's ever seen. Can he pull this off? You're right behind the cue. Have a look at that for the shot. He really is a very special potter, this man. And now he's got the chance to clinch the frame and the match at this visit.
Well, you'd have to say the only difficulty would be from yellow to green when this green goes in. Just judging it off the top cushion. Back up in a straight line, and unless he gets a big bounce off this cushion, I'd have to say this is Jamie Jones' only hope. Let's see the bounce. No.
6.
Looks pretty good.
Yeah, it was all
9.
a bad start for Jamie Jones. He just never settled early on in the match, and to be 6-0 down, it was always going to be a mountain to climb. But he's sending out a message here, Ken, isn't he, Neil? He's queuing well. He's going to take some beating.
Yeah, absolutely. One of the favourites before the start of the championship, and
18.
His performance in this round will compound that. Black
24.
for a 10-2 victory and a place in the last 16 of the Betfred World Championship. It's there, and Neil Robertson completes a very convincing victory against Jamie Jones from Wales. He tried to put up a fight, but it was too far back, and Neil Robertson, the 2010 champion, is safely through into the last 16. He wins by 10 frames to 2.
Convincing performance from the 2010 world champion. We hope that it won't be 3 years till we see Jamie Jones back again, because he's always a really great presence at the Crucible, but that was absolutely emphatic today, John.
Yeah, he was strutting around. Stephen mentioned the word strutting earlier on. We were talking about it, and that's what he looks like. It's almost peacock-like in either way he walks around the table. He knows when he's playing well. Striking the ball lovely, you know his safety's going to be there, and he's a major player in this year's championship without a doubt.
He's already won one big title in Wuxi. It was the first one of the season. He was runner-up in Australia. He got to the Masters final, of course, and was beaten by Sean Murphy. And his form's been a little patchy up and down this season, but that's been symptomatic of perhaps his way he's gone through tournaments as well, Stephen.
Yeah, and this is obviously... This is the one he'll have wanted, and I think he said in his interview before he's practiced more than for any other event that he's played in, so that makes you sharp in itself. I used to always feel really sharp if I put a real good 2 or 3 weeks practice, coming to the World Championship. So he'll be fresh because he's had a quiet season up to now, the last 2 or 3 months.
He has indeed. In fact, let's get his reaction to that 10-2 victory over Jamie Jones today. He's with Rob.
Neil, nice and simple in the end there, unlike some of the other epic matches we've enjoyed so far in this year's championship.
Yeah, I mean, Barry had an overnight lead of 7-2, and Matt clawed him back to 9-all. So and obviously with Mark Selby as well. So I mean, I knew I had to come out with the same determination as I did yesterday to dominate early. And I mean, the first frame, I think made a total clearance in the first frame. So 8-2. It's nearly impossible to lose the match from there. So, the first frame was really important today because I wanted to, finish the match off early and, so I can head back home now for a few days, relax and, get ready for my next match.
Highest break of 1-4-3 so far. It really looks as though you've got your eye in right at the start of the tournament. Yeah, I mean, like I've said, I haven't practiced harder for a tournament, ever. This one is the biggest one we play in, and with such long distances, it's important to put in the hours. This tournament I'm actually treating it a bit like a pre-season tournament, really, because no matter what happens here, I would have done the hard work. But the most important thing is that I've got to practice like this throughout the whole season, and my results haven't reflected on somebody who has been doing that. So, I believe I've underachieved a lot in my career, and I've got to put the hours in if I want to become, one of the great players. Well, it's interesting to hear you say that. You've smashed snooker's Triple Crown. You've got so many ranking titles. Do you feel as though you've got a point to prove this season? Because you won in Wuxi, you got to the final of the Australian, but by your own high standards, the rest of this season, following on from that, has been solid rather than spectacular. It really seems as though you've got the bit between your teeth here. Yeah, I mean, I guess where the hours of practice comes in is when, when we're not playing on the best of playing conditions. I mean, these tournaments are pretty easy to prepare well for and actually to play well in because the conditions are so great. But, it's the tournaments in between that, you guys don't see where it's very tough. And, if you're not practicing hard, then you struggle to adapt onto different conditions. So, I've been putting the hours in But like I say, it's something I have to do for every tournament, not just this, every tournament if I want to get the most out of my ability, which, up until at this stage of my career, I don't think I have done. Well, you've certainly achieved a lot, but you've clearly got desires to do more. How important to be able to get home for a couple of days before coming back to face either Ali Carter or Alan McManus? Yeah, it's nice to have a bit of a break. Nice few days. Means I can get back to the club, put in a lot more hours, and obviously it's tough coming here. You only have half-hour slots, so to get back home, chill out with Miller and Alexander will be really nice, and just get my head round to to next weekend. Well done today, Neil. Job done. Cheers. Thanks, Rob.
Yeah, job done indeed, and it was interesting in the build-up. I know his dad, Ian, has come over from Australia, and his stepmom too, and his sister, and he says his dad has been the one cracking the whip. He's quite a laid-back character, apparently, but he's been the one that's been making sure that he screws the nut and actually gets on with the work, and clearly he's very, very motivated here this year. Yeah, it might just be a case of just changing it and tweaking it slightly. I don't know, but Stephen probably did the same thing, but when the Masters or the UK or the World came up, I changed my practice routine a little bit, certainly put more hours in, certainly tried to make more of it.
tried to prepare as if it was a major and just treat it slightly different from the other events. I think that's probably what he's doing, and it's certainly going to pay dividends.
Stephen, he's absolutely desperate to be a multiple world champion at the Crucible. That seems to be the mark of quality in his mind here.
Yeah, he's a very high quality sportsman. You know, he just wants to win titles. He's clearly. He's won a lot, but he's clearly not happy with what he's won so far, and he's greedy for more, which is, you know, I identify with, and I think it's great to see.
Absolutely. Okay, well, he's through, and we shall see more of Neil next weekend. But it is T-minus 24 hours until rocket launch. Yes, Ronnie O'Sullivan will be in the building tomorrow as he starts his campaign for a 6th world title. Now, you have been tweeting your support of Ronnie and indeed some of the other players here this year. We've been asking you to do so via social media. Now, Mo Farah has the Mobot, Usain Bolt has the lightning bolt, but Ronnie has the rocket. And it all started a few weeks ago in Prestatyn at the World Grand Prix, because 9-year-old Jack Roscoe was the man who first showed Ronnie what it was all about in the practice room there, and Ronnie seems to have embraced it. We had a go at it too, standing on chairs, lying on sofas, blasting off into the blue, and there's Rob Walker, always in on the act. Nice one. I think that's the standard bearer of the rocket, actually. And these are some of them, as we tell you that you can please tweet your pictures to us at BBC Snooker or #rocket launch. We'll be fascinated to see some of them, and we're going to choose some of the fans of the day, and today they are Betty. There she is on the far left of your screen. She's only about 18 months. Nice one, Betty. We've got Tom tweeting a picture of I'm not sure who that is, and that is Bruce as Dennis Taylor. That's not bad, Bruce, with the upside down glasses. Shane, we think your arm should be a little further extended. John, do you reckon?
Yeah,
I think so.
There.
Yeah, okay. Now, what about this? The Mayor of Sheffield, Peter Rippon. Very, very good effort from the Mayor there. Nice one, Peter. Again, a little more extension, perhaps. And this is Pauline Angus's dog. Name I do not know, but that's good extension. You got to say, that's fantastic, isn't it? So there you go. The rocket launch is definitely taking a grip, and we would be very happy to see your efforts at the rocket launch, and indeed lots of other players. And we've made a list of them. I mean, you've got your magician, wizards, jesters, milkmen, captain, gentleman, dragon, thunder, ace in the pack, juggernaut. There's plenty of scope, isn't there?
Oh, it's unbelievable. There's kids everywhere now going to be out buying magicians' uniforms and wizards' hats. You've started something here.
Yes, tweet your support for your favourite player. We want to see it. All right, now it's the man from Asia, it's the man from China that we are concentrating on, Ding Junhui. It's been fully 10 years since he made his breakthrough, won the first of 12 major titles, and he is 2/3 of the way to a career Grand Slam. But the one that he and 1.3 billion people back home would really like to see is the world title. That's the one that's missing. No pressure, eh?
He is an enormous star. I mean, you hear it talked about quite a lot in this country. I think you probably have to sort of actually be over there and see it to sort of truly understand how big a star he is. But Ding is right up there with some of their Olympic champions, and he really is a superstar over there.
He's been carrying the flag for China on snooker circuit for more than a decade, appearing on TV maybe every month, nearly every week, makes people know who he is and how good a player he is.
If you go out and maybe people recognize the players, you get more photos and signature to do, and also the medians want to know everywhere you go, everywhere. Before it doesn't like it, but now it's okay because I don't know. It's just do my things and just let them do what they want. It's sometimes I feel pressures. But most time when I focus, I don't get that feeling in my mind. That's what all the people's hopes, all the snooker fans' hopes, and also me too.
I think the expectations peaked last year after winning those 5 ranking titles. He was under extraordinary pressure.
Winning things over and over again last season can be really putting him a lot of pressure.
I think keep winning to change my mind to the maybe last tournament. I think I should win, but it's no one game you should win. So you have to work hard every game, then then you can win. But I don't. I lose my mind, so that's big mistakes.
There has been talkings for many years that Ding is going to win the World Championship, but the question is, when is it going to happen? Is it really the matter of time?
For a player of that quality, one semi-final in all the times he's been here, and a lot of early exits in the first and second round is extraordinary, really.
It's interesting, the last season and this season. Last season keep winning, this season keep losing, so I think I'm still young. Got a lot of chances, got the times. Don't need to be put too much pressure on myself. Here's all the great players on the world, not mine. I hopefully this year I'm ready, yeah.
He says he's ready. He's playing the world number 18, Mark Davis of Sussex, the 42-year-old, making his 10th appearance at the Crucible. He can be one of the most obdurate of opponents, and he's a very shrewd operator at the table, rather like Ding himself. We're going to show you the end of frame 1, first of all, and it was pretty tight. Ding 20 points behind as we join it in the company of Terry Griffiths and John Virgo.
Needs to slow up a bit.
3. Yes.
Funny, the first couple of days I didn't detect any bounces whatsoever. I thought the tables were playing beautiful, but all of a sudden there seems to be one or two shall we say quick ones coming off the cushions. Played that nicely.
7.
Blue, pink and black. For a frame, he never looked like winning.
Well.
I'm surprised he played it like that. He thought if he just potted it and screwed back, then he would leave the cue ball too close to the cushion in an effort not to do that. He played it with more pace, missed it by a way, and this pink for the frame. And he'll be very relieved, will Mark Davis. He had enough chances to have clinched it well before then, but you never settle until you get your first frame on the board. And Mark Davis has it. And he leads Ding Junhui by 1 frame to 0.
Obviously a couple of very nervy shots from the world number 3, Ding Junhui, in that opening frame. I wonder if he's settled into frame 2 as we join it. Mark Davis 10 points behind late on in this one.
Now he needs to bounce. He'd like to be on the black rather than the yellow. And he is. So he's left the angle on the yellow. Needs a good shot, though, to get up the other end of the table for the green. But if this goes right, he's got a 1-point lead. Yellow, green, brown and blue to leave Ding Junhui needing a snooker. Needs to slow down. But he's made a great effort here. But it just has left the potting angle is green just that little bit awkward. Now If you were really brave, you could just drop it in dead weight, but I don't think you've elected to do that. I think you'll be stunning this up and down the table, but he's got to avoid pink or black. Can he avoid the black? He's avoided the black, and this looks absolutely inch perfect. What a shot, what a shot. If it slows down, it's slowed down enough. Brown and blue required. So no heroics. This blue will put him 15 points in front with 13 remaining.
Well, he's got to look in, but he's got it. $15 points the difference. You'd like to put this game to Brad here, but missed the pot, so I think still got a chance. Just one snooker.
22.
Well, he's had a fluke when he didn't want it, and that's been the what's been happening in this match so far. Neither player starting to play really well, but Mark Davis is 2-0 in front.
He is indeed, and we've managed to catch them up now, because as you can see, they have the arena all to themselves over in the Crucible right now. So let's get over there into frame 3. It's Terry and John. Good afternoon, live this time, gents.
Yeah, good afternoon, Hazel. Well, so far, Ding Junhui is not playing like the number 3 ranked player in the world. He's been very disappointed with his performance. He just doesn't seem to be able to get any sort of rhythm going here. Mark Davis, on the other hand, has potted a few good balls. Not really scored that much when he got in. OK, we've had a break of 44 in the first frame, but it's been scrappy fair, in all honesty. But Mark Davis won't be minding that. He's got a 2-0 lead, and he'll be a lot more relaxed at the moment than Ding Junhui. Just not happening at the moment. May have had a result there, though. Lucky not to leave the red over the corner, and it isn't a straightforward hit one red onto the other here. Particularly as he's got to put a little bit of pace into the cue ball, play a deep screw back up for the blue, but got to be accurate. It's not right in the jaws. But played it well enough, and I think the black's on. The black's available.
Good pot. It's just a matter if he's still on an easy red, and he's okay because the black doesn't go in his own spot. I'm going to look if the pink goes into the corner.
Nine.
Mark Davis has got to push on from here now. He's won 2 scrappy frames, but as John said, will feel a lot more confident than Ding at the moment. All the expectation, of course, on Ding's shoulders, and as yet, it's very early on, but he hasn't produced. Nothing near like his normal form.
$16. $70.
Well, it looks as the red to the left of the black is available. If you can find a way to get on that.
Yes, and played it nicely.
22. $23.
Looking more settled, shot by shot now, Mark Davis.
30.
It's funny enough, I'm looking at his record. He first came here in 1992. And it's a case of, with some of the players, where are they now? (1994) lost 10-7 to Terry Griffiths. First time he came here, he lost in a qualifier to Billy Snadden. I wonder where Billy is these days. If you're watching, Billy, I hope you're well.
37.
Sure, he went into the police force or something, didn't he? Or something like that, or fireman. I think he's back playing again now, Billy. I think he's starting to play a bit in the Amish game. Yeah, he's a good player. Yeah.
Yeah, he was a good player. That was when Mark really came to prominence, was the year after Ken Doherty won the World Championship. He beat him in the first round, you know.
$38.
Oh, he's looks like he's got to somehow or other go into the pack. Quite sure he can hold the cue ball, the cut and the blues. Perhaps a little too thin for that. He's the most confident Mark Davis has looked so far in the match once he's in the balls. Now then. As things are always in snooker, when you're in front and things are going for you, you get a good split, and when you need it badly, they don't split for you. There's no guarantees anytime.
Yeah, but his belief will be groin and groin. I think I got that wrong. He did beat Ken Doherty in the first round, but I think it was in 1995 when he beat him, and he lost in the second round to Peter Ebden. But he's got a history here at the Crucible, so he knows his way
44.
around Sheffield.
He lost then 10-9 to Ken Doherty in the year that Ken won, 1997, because you were talking about that earlier on in the dressing room. Amazing. Ken Doherty beat Stephen Hendry, didn't he?
Yeah, 1997. 10-8, actually, it was.
10-8, was it? Sorry.
Yeah. All right, Terry, your memory's going to fade you a little bit.
What memory?
Who said that? Meanwhile, as we go through a few facts and figures, Mark Davis, slowly but surely, is chipping away, and all the reds are open there, you see. They'll go 60 points in front with this black. So only looking for one more red to get to the snooker's required stage.
It's not just that, John. It's the way he'd have done it, because he struggled as well as Ding. It's just a matter of nick the frames, but this will certainly settle him down now.
Yeah, now he's playing properly, and that was the thing. You win the first couple of frames that could have gone either way, but not put under any pressure really in Ding Junhui. And now he's settled into a nice stride, nice rhythm. Oh, and if he'd have potted that, Ding Junhui won't have bothered coming back to the table, but he will now. He's given him a glimmer of hope. OK, 61 points in front, but there's 59 remaining. One snooker needed. Careless.
One. Eight.
Well, we were just singing the praise of Mark Davis and how relaxed he was going to be. This would be a body blow if he was to lose this frame. Although, having played for the blue, well, yeah, he's looking at the pink. I don't blame him. If he plays the blue, he'll need two snookers. Two snookers to tie. Or one snooker to tie, sorry. That wouldn't be part of the master plan. There you see. One 4-point snooker to tie, 47 points behind, 43 remaining.
50.
But there's certainly an easy snooker in there. I mean, you can immediately think of get a snooker off the brown behind the pink. So Mark Davis might regret missing that simple black, thinking the frame was over. Well, that surprises me. Well, this is the wrong decision for me. Why he wants to leave the last red on the table, I don't know. And if he doesn't play for the black, then he needs two snookers. Well, I just don't understand that. His head's not right. That was the wrong shot. That was the wrong shot. He should have potted the black, he should have potted another red and a black, and then tried to get the snooker on the yellow. He needed one snooker to tie. Why would you leave the last red on the table? Big mistake.
And he's got a chance again to take red and black, but of course the brown has been removed from behind the pink now, which John said would have left quite an easy snooker. He's turning the pot down again.
I mean, OK, if you need two snookers, leave the last red on the table, but he only needs one snooker. All right, it's only to tie, but why would you not want to take the red when you have a chance of potting that red and potting the black that he needs? Strange one. Well, it's a decent enough snooker, and there's room around this red.
No, it's a good hit, and he played it at speed that he wouldn't have left the free ball anyway. But Ding, of course, could have tied the frame if he'd have missed the red with the red, black, and all the colours.
Just a little bit too much pace. Okay, I think he might have to play a little swerve, but you wouldn't think it'd be a problem. Yeah, good hit. And got the snooker back. Bonus. Well, it wasn't quite the snooker. Well, there's a chance here to play the pot. Once he pots the red, Ding Junhui will concede. It's a thin one, but worth a go. And that was the thing, at the angle he was playing it, that if he did miss it on the way up, he was always going to catch it on the way back. In fact, I think he hit it twice, just for good measure. Doesn't want the red to go in. It hasn't done, but well, if he can get past the brown, he'll pot it. And he thinks he can with a little swerve. Well, maybe he's having second thoughts. He pots the red at the end of frame. When you play these swerves, you can't hit them hard. You've got to give every chance for the side spin to grip on the cloth. Oh, he's going up the other end of the table. Could pot this with a double kiss. Oh, well, he didn't, but he'll be pleased he hit it. Now will Ding Junhui take the opportunity to pot this red and play for the black? If he can't play a snooker off this red or get it safe, then surely he's got to pot it and play for the black. And then try and get the snookers with just the colours on the table. He's having a good look at that red. So he decided this time to play for the black. Why he didn't do that quite a few shots ago, I don't know, but there you go. And the balls are not in too bad a situation to play the snookers. And remember, if he pots the black, just one snooker to tie.
8.
A good chance here to get behind that brown and pink. Looks to be screwing across to the brown and pink and back over again. Well played. Very well played.
Injury 8.
Truly hasn't got a gap there, John.
There's always a gap. Mind the gap. Unbelievable. That is unbelievable. Look at that. You couldn't make it up. Well, the one thing you've got to do if you're playing a snooker, you've got to try and get the object ball safe. Well, it's nearly run safe. It's a thin one, but once again, the potting angle, if you was to miss it on the way up, then you'd catch it on the way back. So it's maybe worth the cut. If he pots the yellow, frame over. Well, I didn't fancy it. Oh, he's played the old banana, kiss on the black. Well, that'll do nicely. Get out of that. At the moment he needs one snooker to tie. If he misses this, it'll be 2 snookers. And if he kisses the green, no, he won't do. I thought he maybe left a free ball. So it's looking even better now for Mark Davis. He's not really had to produce his best, but he's looked certain now to have a 3-0 lead. Couldn't wish for a better start than this. That's the difference now, 35 behind, 27 remaining, 2 snookers to tie. That's the area that Ding Junhui will be looking for in playing snookers. I think the one thing with this type of shot, you got to leave distance between cue ball and object ball, so. And it wouldn't be bad if you could knock one of these balls onto the top cushion. At least there'd be one less to snooker behind. possible chance here for Ding Junhui, but he's got to avoid the double kiss on the yellow. And that's not going to be easy. No snooker. No problem for Mark Davis.
A good cross double, but you're going to find the gap between the pink and blue. He has, look, amazing.
Inch perfect. And even Ding Junhui could see the funny side of that. But he won't be seeing anything else funny about it because he has not turned up yet. It's as simple as that. He's got no rhythm to his game. He's miscounting the scoreboard. I mean, to not play for that last red
14
and the black was unforgivable. So his mind's not right. He's not playing. And it's just been easy peasy for Mark Davis. They've had 3 frames and he's won them comfortably. Ding Junhui will number 3 in trouble.
And let's be honest, it wouldn't be the first time that he's been in trouble here at the Crucible. John, his record here, not exactly stellar, is it?
It's one of the things that's a bit of a mystery, really, in the game. If we go on to his Ding Junhui's performances here in the tournament so far at World Championship, we got his tournament record. It's been very disappointing, to say the least. Only 1 year. Of course, 2007, bit of a baptism of fire with Ronnie O'Sullivan, got beat 10-2. And then after that, last 16, semi-final here against Judd Trump, that was a really good performance. He was unlucky not to reach the final. That's the one good thing he's done. But if we go through round 1, quarter-final hookers, and that one is the shocker last year. Michael Wosley come through as a qualifier. He didn't play at all. And what, for whatever reason it is, he turns up at Sheffield, and already today we're seeing by his demeanour, I'm looking at him thinking he just doesn't look right. He's had lots of chances. He looks a little bit out of it, and he's 3-0 down already. So he's really got to get over this Crucible curse. He just doesn't seem to play well here. And I thought at China, it was a little bit green shoots of recovery was coming. I thought he was going to start playing better, but at the moment, it just doesn't look like it.
Yeah, semi-finals in China just a couple of weeks ago. But Steve, we talk about that Michael Wosley defeat in round 1. That was a massive shock in Crucible history. And of course, he followed it up at the UK Championship with defeat to James Cahill as well, who was ranked 100 in the world. These things are scars for him. We talked about this earlier on in relation to Barry Hawkins.
His body language is terrible here. I mean, it really is. I mean, he just doesn't look like he's up for it at all. I mean, it's a World Championship. He's a world number 3. He should be one of the contenders, but he just doesn't look like he fancies it at all.
OK, he's 3-0 down with lots of work to do here. Back we go.
Yes, it hasn't happened for him. We can all see that, and there's a long way to go, but you just had a feeling today that Ding had to start well, just to give him that little bit of confidence that he can play well in the Crucible. He has played well at times, but there's so much expectation on his shoulders, and I think it's affecting him in this match so far.
It's too thick. Just nothing really in his game at the moment that inspires you with any confidence. Look at his pot success. 80%. That's low for a player of his quality. Oh, I was going to say, if that just missed the brown, it would have been a very good safety, but just caught the brown, and it's left the cue ball near the baulk line. May not have left a pot on, but hand on the table. Expect a decent safety shot from Ding here. But he just can't find that baulk cushion with any regularity at the moment.
Well, he tried to get through that gap to cut that red, but it's the wrong red then. Has he been lucky? Well, the black's tied up anyway, so you can see he's trying to get through to the bottom red, but catches the first red. I don't think Ding has got a red he can pot and get on the colour. The pink looks available into the left corner, but can he pot a red and get out there? See, the red into this right corner is well, just off straight, so can't do much with that. Amazing.
Yeah, you make a mess of the safety, and you don't leave anything easy, and sometimes you can play the best safety shot of the match, and it can cost you the frame, so there's no rhyme or reason sometimes. And the problem is for Ding Junhui, okay, he can pot the red, but if he can't get on the colour, where's the safety? He can't go up to the baulk end because there's red near the left middle. I mean, the one to the right of the cue ball, that's unmissable. The one to the left, well, that could be missed. Wondering if there was any way, but I'm sure he'd have played it by now if he can just find the gap, and possibly. Is he thinking of trying to force the cue ball up the table, bring the black into play?
One.
And possibly be on the pink to the middle? Just had to trust to luck for position, but by the looks of it, I don't think he was too unhappy with the outcome.
It's nice to see Ding taking a positive shot, though, I must say. He hasn't changed his shot selection, though he's struggling out there, and that's good to see sometimes. It's easy when you're struggling out there to curl up in the corner, out of the way, as we say. In other words, don't take any chances. So there's the start of something big from Ding. Nice break so far, 23. And at a rough guess, he's had about 15 chances. That's a lovely shot. He is one of the best in the game with that type of shot, cannoning into balls and clearing colours. Top class.
I think it's always noticeable when this is something I look at. The average shot time for Ding Junhui at the moment is 28 seconds a shot. Now, when he's on form and bossing balls and making big breaks, I mean, that can go below 20.
15.
He's not a slow player by any means, but just the way he started off today, he got no rhythm. and it's affecting his average shot time.
Yes, he's a class act on his day. And he's had plenty of good days in his career so far, and I'm sure there's a lot more to come, but this isn't one of his good days so far. But if he could take this frame and get his first frame on the board, a little interval, settle him down, you never know what could happen. But he's overrun that a little bit.
Funny if we were saying the other day,
27.
Remember one of your players, Terry, was saying that when you're playing the roll through without touching a cushion, it was very hard to judge because the cue ball was just running on that 2 or 3 inches, and it certainly found Ding out there. This isn't perfect by any means. And he didn't even get close with the red.
27.
Not close. Okay, it was missable, but didn't even get in the jaws.
Yes, I know we're all giving him a bit of criticism, and quite rightly so, the way he's playing, but he must be feeling awful in his chair there. He's put his work in, looking forward to playing this championship again. There's great championships, and to start the way he has, Ding, is going to be a real tough test for him now. It's almost as if that when Ding comes to the Crucible, the doubts he's had all come to fruition. I'm afraid it's very sad to see that. He hasn't lost this match, obviously. It's a long way from that, and you never know what could happen if he was to win this match, but he'll have to improve a lot from where he is now.
Played that well. And to make the angle and striking down as he did, he really cued it nicely. I think he's straight enough on this pink that he can screw back, because a lot of these reds are blocking one another. Just a little cannon like that would help. Give him a red to the right corner, possibly the ready cannons into the... Well, he decided not to play the cannon. Made no difference, but that was the line he needed to come down at. I'd have been tempted to play the cannon just to release that red a little bit more. It was his choice. And if you got the cannon on that red, you could have been on that red. If he's straight on this one, as he is, it's not an easy thing to get on the next colour. Well, another terrific pot, and that's his strength. Mark Davis, he can pot. Heart in the mouth time there. He stayed down. He thought he was just going to drift to the near jaw,
18.
and it did. It just had the enough of the pocket to drop. There's black to take him within 1 point.
$26.
Penny for your thoughts, Ding.
Yeah, I was just going to ask the same question, Terry. I wonder what he's thinking.
27.
That's nicely played. Not an easy shot, that. Could have done with a few more inches on the cue ball coming off that cushion, but could hit those shots a lot harder than you think, even on these fast cloths. I don't think a choice here. You can really hold for the pink if you want, or swing across the black. Black it is. Play that well. Give yourself a few options now.
Yeah, I think those two reds to the left of the pink are both available in, well, you can see perfectly they're available into the middle pocket. So just drop the black in. It's a frame-winning opportunity, and he'd love to go into the mid-session interval, Mark Davis. 4-0 in front. And that's certainly on the cards now.
$48. $49.
Looks to have the angle and depart the pink and take the cue ball off the side cushion for the top red there. Not quite sure if he's got a great angle now.
55.
Can't see from here, but it could be difficult to avoid those other two reds. She'd rather be straightish there, or the angle the other way for the Martin angle. So you can stand up for pink and or black. Maybe able to miss these reds. No. They were too close, really. The spin doesn't take that quickly. Not going to play a good safety now. He's 29 points in front. For the colours saved properly on the side cushion.
Brown.
Is he putting this safe or is he playing a snooker? A bit of both.
Mark Davis, 56.
Well, lots of both. That is absolutely perfect. You've got the brown safe and you've got the snooker on the two reds. And, well, Ding Junhui, what is it? It's in hope, this. You'll be getting frustrated with what's happening so far. Well, he's played it delicately. Does it reach? Does it bounce? It doesn't. Now, miscalled, and without even coming to this end of the table, Mark Davis has taken it, and now there may have been a possibility there of a red to the far right corner, red to the middle, which could have been a frame winner. Not saying he's wrong, but I'd have had a look. Well, it's going to bounce. Just touching ball, is it? It's not touching ball. If it was, the referee, Terry Camilleri, would have nominated it. Just feel when he made the last attempt to escape Ding Junhui and just left it a bit short. I'd have certainly been having a look at whether one of the reds was available to pot.
Ball, yeah. Ding Junhui 4.
Well, foul. Didn't look that much gap that you could possibly hit the cue ball and not get there. Couldn't get any advantage from that, of course. Easy to get the cue ball back up to the ballk end. He'd love to get the green as a blocker for the two reds, but whether that is on or not, I don't know. Nearly. But as the blue going to be the blocking ball. Like a song, that, isn't it? Was it blocking? Oh, Wrecking Ball, wasn't it? Someone in my ear saying it was Bruce Springsteen, was it?
Think it was Mario Lanza.
Funny enough, they had a show at the Lyceum, and it was a Mario Lanza story, and my great friend Mark Rowe, the golfer, the former European golfer, he thought Mario Lanza was a comedian. You get your breath. One of the greatest tenors of all time. Well, he's played the two-cushion escape, miscalled, probably taken.
It's the cue ball and caught the knuckle there. He may give Ding a free ball. Just the 4 points now and have another go. He's a long way out there.
Was it throwing it up? Yeah.
Yeah, it's not the easiest two-cushion escape, this, with pace, particularly when, I mean, okay, if the red's up in the middle of the table, just behind the pink or something, it's a bit more of a chance.
Left, right.
I sometimes wonder why the referees don't leave it to the players to have it put back. Well, here's where it was, there. And where is it now? Well, just a fraction closer to the baulk cushion than it was. Oh, he played it well that time. Very good. And May have got the snooker back. Well, I think there may be a gap between the black and blue, but he can't get to the edge of the red. So if he can't get to the edge, he can't get back to baulk. And being 25 points behind, he needs to get this safe. He's not hit the red.
Fouls. Mark Davis.
So 29 points to lead. I don't blame him for putting it back this time. He's making life very easy for Mark Davis here, Terry, isn't he?
I think he's lost his touch, isn't he? He's a few times now he's tried to get out to Snooker's dead weight and made a bit of a mess of it. It's just tough for him at the moment because he's not playing well out there. We all know what that feels like. You just got to hang in it this time.
Well, that's why, you know, the best of 19 frames. 2 sessions, but he's missed again.
On this, Mark Davis.
There'll be no hesitation. Mark Davis won't even bother getting out of his seat.
Well, they're back where they were because Mark Davis was 33 points in front and he gave 2 4-point fouls away, and now Ding's done it, so it's...
Yeah, but I'd rather be 33 points in front, wouldn't you, Terry? Looks a bit better this time.
Bounds.
Oh!
Mark Davis.
Boy, it's a harsh rule, this, isn't it?
I don't like the rule. Neither
No,
do you, John. Do you?
No, I don't like the rule at all. But it's harsh there. I mean, what was that? Coat of paint. But once they start calling it, they're going to keep calling it until he hits it. So the players accept it, so we'll have to.
He's got it this time. The point is, it wasn't a difficult hit for the red, even at a slow pace.
No. Quick glance at the scoreboard for Mark Davis now. He only needs this red. He'll put him 38 points in front with 35 remaining. Oh! Well.
Looked in.
Yep.
It just dropped back. It seemed to drop back a bit onto the near knuckle then.
Well, Ding Junhui, you've been handed a lifeline here. What can you do with it? You couldn't have played it any slower, but just caught that top jaw and kept it out. Oh, well. Well, well, well.
Where's the black going?
Well, yeah, absolutely. He's got an horrendous fluke, but have a look at this pink. Not good signs for Ding Junhui to miss a ball like that. Okay, lucky to get away with it, but dear me, he cued that. It's as bad as I've ever seen him cue a ball. Good hit. Okay, he couldn't get it safe, but after the pink in the middle, this won't be easy in his eyes. He's rolled it in. Of course, the saving grace for Mark Davis could be the brown. And of course, the pink now being at the other end of the table. Well, my mistake, of course. Looking at the score, he pots this, he still needs a snooker. So much happening in this. Now you see it, 28 points behind, 27 remaining. So much happening, I'm forgetting about the score. The most important part.
No, then good chance here if he wants to stand behind pink. Or brown, really. I think pink looks the easier one. He's checking the score now, Ding. He's not sure himself, John.
No. Too pacey. Oh, well, he just managed to make contact with the brown. And it's got the snooker, but one cushion escape. Shouldn't be too hard to hit.
Well, a straightforward escape here for Mark Davis, but if the cue ball had travelled a few more inches behind the brown, it would have been a tough one to escape from. It's been Mark Davis who's been making the biggest break so far in this match. He's made a 44, 66 and 56, of course, in this frame. That's a good attempt, but I'm not sure he was trying to hit that green into the brown. He was hoping the green would come down the table, white behind the pink.
Yeah, and talking about breaks, Ding Junhui, one of the most prolific break builders in the game today, hasn't made a 30 break. Highest break 27. And he's getting down to play this quickly. I think he wants to get to the dressing room.
Foul.
I think he's had enough of these 4 frames. He's had a word with Mark Davis, and Mark Davis obviously will accept the concession. So Ding Junhui will go back to his dressing room with an awful lot to think about, because he has not turned up as yet, and he trails 4 frames to 0.
And I just wonder how worrying the signs are, as John Virgo put them early on in this match from Ding Junhui. You talked about his body language. What else have you noticed about his performance so far?
He's just not... it just doesn't look like he's focused at all. He's cueing terribly. He missed a pink in that frame off the spot that was just like... He just butchered it, basically. Yeah, and it's just... I mean, it's hard to explain how it's as if he's just turned up the world champion and he's not bothered almost.
Well, is that shot there indicative of the form that he's come with? How strange was that effort from him there?
I mean, it doesn't matter what form you're in, you can't hit the jaw that far up with any sort of cue action. I mean, it's 100 mile an hour for a kick-off. I mean, it's just that shot there just frightened me, because I looked at it and I went, you can't possibly, a top player, hit it that badly. He didn't just miss it, he missed it by a foot. And his body language just doesn't look right at all. It looks like the burden of the World Championship is on his shoulders. He's turned up, and if I was a Ding fan, I'd be really worried about. Mark Davis hasn't had to do anything special to be 4-0. He's played steady. Don't get me wrong, he's taken his chances better, but Ding's been terrible.
Because of his form this season, is there a vulnerability that the other players are now sensing clearly when they play him, Steve?
You can't help but notice what he's like around the table. I mean, Mark Davis, I mean, you're sitting right next to him as well, but if you look at his body language around the table, that can only give you confidence. I mean, if you mirror that with someone like Selby or Robertson, you look at their body language in the World Championship, I mean, they're there to win it. Ding just doesn't look like he's here to win the World Championship.
I mean, the thing with this is it's only a couple of weeks ago when he played him in China, Ding's beaten Mark Davis 5-1. So Mark Davis was sitting there thinking, oh, I'm in for a tough ride this afternoon. He must be thinking, what's going on? And sometimes that brings the added pressure to yourself. You think, well, he keeps making mistakes here, I've got to make the most of them, and the pressure comes on you somewhat bizarrely. But Mark Davis is just going about it nice and steady, and he's going to get plenty more chances if Ding plays like this, because he's way off the pace.
Seems ironic to think that last year he made it to 8 finals, 6 of them were major finals. He came away with 5 titles. That equalled your haul of a few years ago, Stephen. But this season, he's only got to 1 semi-final, I think it is, and the rest of it has been extremely average. But the irony is he could rescue everything with a good performance here, couldn't he?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, win the World Championship and makes up for everything. I mean, I don't know what's happened this season where he's just taken his foot off the gas. I think he's not entered everything this season. He's taking gaps to do whatever. So I don't know. Maybe it just doesn't look like he even enjoys playing here, which is crazy, because if you don't enjoy playing it here, this is the ultimate for snooker.
OK, well, he's got a lot to do. He's got another 5 frames to play this afternoon, but it is time, in the meantime, for our daily dose of celebrity snooker. I wonder who Steve is lined up to play today.
If there's one person you like in your pub team quiz every week, it's our special guest today. He was a great hit last year at the Crucible with his potless quiz, but it would be pointless to introduce Richard Osman.
Hey Steve, how are you?
See what I did there?
Yeah, it's very good.
It's quite clever, isn't it?
No one's done it before.
Yeah,
You'll be telling me on tool next.
Well, big problem is getting into a compact position.
Tell me about
at the table. That's difficult because it's a strain on the back. It's a long way down for you.
Yeah, sure is.
It's not so far down for Ken Doherty. Because he's only about there.
In fact, here he is.
There he is, under the table. He needs the rest to break off, does our Ken. But you've got to be able to reach over
See, I'm
as
all right
well.
at that.
So
yeah.
you're right reaching over. So
yeah.
you've got an advantage there. But
on a pool table, I don't need a rest at all on a pool table. Here I will. I promise you.
We gave you a little lesson last year up at the Crucible.
Yeah, do you remember? I wasn't very good.
Have you practiced since?
No, of course not. I'm terrible. I say I can play pool.
Okay.
But snooker, not so good. My best break is 136, but that's not under the television.
No,
lights.
yeah. And the pockets are bigger on the club table.
No, my best break I think is 18.
Okay,
which is,
well, at least you're
the last 3 balls. You see, I remember from watching this years and years ago. I was watching, I think, Ray Reardon. He said, so you got a little bit of right-hand side and go off between the second and third ball of the triangle.
Well,
he said,
yeah,
let's give that a go.
Okay.
Shall we?
You know Ray then, who's name dropping.
No, I saw him on telly.
Oh, I see. You don't actually know him. That's a fantastic break. Wow, what a break that is.
Let's stop now.
That is I mean, that's the most aggressive attacking break I've seen in the game.
Oh, God, imagine if I go 1-0 up.
Oh, shot. That was a nice strike as well. That went in the heart of the pocket.
If someone could set the fire alarm off now, then I think this frame is done.
So the brown in the middle?
Yeah, I should really... I could just tuck up behind it, couldn't I, if I was...
Well, that's pointless. You've got to win the game. See what I did there?
Yeah, that's really good.
In a different context, I said pointless.
Just keep doing it.
OK.
Hello.
Oh, this is turning into a rout. We're here in Media City.
Yeah.
It's not set up like the Crucible.
Yeah.
There are lights that would normally be shining down on the table.
Okay,
that are
so they're not
shining,
directly into you.
Yeah, so you may be struggling light-wise.
Yeah.
It's the advantage I've got. I've been practising all day yesterday as well. So.
Well, it's not the only advantage you've got, to be fair. You're one of the greatest snooker players of all time.
Yeah, I suppose it helps. Yeah, I suppose it does help. But in recent years, I've been through a bit of a lean period.
Oh, I didn't know that. I'm sorry to hear that.
I'm sort of in my own way.
I thought you were still world champion.
Pointless, and you can see the problems I'm having with the game now.
You've gone to pieces.
I've gone to pieces.
Absolutely. I tell you what, it's because I've turned the screw right early on in the game. It's just the pressure's got to you.
What other were involved in other
loads
successful,
of things?
Successful ones and unsuccessful ones?
Well, successful, deal or no deal.
Oh, bro, excuse my ignorance. I'm apologies now. Wow.
Right. Yeah, I know, right?
Wow.
Yeah, that was one that we knew from the start was going to be a hit.
And you picked Noel Edmonds?
Yes, I did. That was my fault.
Oh.
No, he was brilliant. We played it through. We played it through with him, and he's just so perfect at it. Yeah. And he's got a producer's brain as well. Yeah, he knows what's going on. And again, we've done 3,000 episodes of that now, still going strong. Well, why don't they bring back Big Break? Don't you think they should bring that back?
Well, who are they?
The BBC.
Oh, I see.
You know the BBC.
Well, I can have a word.
Okay, I'll have a word as well.
Okay, but together, do you think they'll take any notice?
Yeah. What if me and you both say it?
Who would play the parts?
Well, John Virgo could be John Virgo.
Oh, well, yeah, of course.
Oh, no, you could be John Virgo.
No.
Do you not think?
I've got a beard. I can't grow a beard.
You could grow a beard.
Who's your money on?
Do you know what? It is. It's completely open this year. I've got a little fancy for Sean Murphy.
Really?
Yeah, I just think he's been playing well this season.
Yeah,
his head seems to be in a good place, which is so important at the Crucible. I'm not sure Ronnie is going to make his way all the way through the draw, and if he doesn't, I can't see Mark Selby defending. It's quite hard to win twice in a row.
It is,
isn't it?
Yes.
So maybe Sean. I can't see. Yeah, I can't see Ding winning it. I can't quite see him doing it. It'd be lovely if he goes a long way in. But I think Sean Murphy's just got that temperament, hasn't he?
But
and he seems happy with himself.
He's on a roll.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Be nice, wouldn't it?
Lovely shot.
Thank you.
Well, the pot was good.
Yeah, no.
The next part is the difficult bit. You've got a very thin cut on the black.
Yeah, well, you would know about that, wouldn't you?
That's outrageous. How on earth can you say that? That's just so outrageous.
It just brought it to mind, Steve.
That's just... I'm trying to be as nice as possible.
Is there any... I was going to say, what's the technique for this, but you're not the person to ask.
Try and pot it.
To win the world title. For the title. I would come down... I would take a little bit more time over it than you did, Steve, probably. I thought you were a little bit... I thought you rushed it a bit. After all that time. Because it was late, wasn't it?
It was late. I was getting
you
tired.
wanted to go to bed. Right, here we go.
Is it looking more difficult now?
Oh, it looked difficult from the beginning, don't get me wrong.
Oh, okay.
But then I'm not a professional snooker player. I would have thought you would have knocked it in with ease.
Yeah.
There it is. But, some people have got a big match temperament, Steve. Perhaps that's what you were lacking. So here we go. The thing to do, Steve, if I'd been there at the time, imagine the plant ball. That's the way to pot this.
I didn't...
Yeah.
Oh, congratulations.
So sorry.
What a shot.
So sorry.
What a shot. Yeah. And one of those, please.
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, it was a great sport, was Richard. It's always great to be in his company, I must say. And both Richard and indeed Josh Widdicombe, wonderful comedian, they took part in our Frame With series, and they are also taking part, indeed have done, in a special Radio 5 Live Fighting Talk. And it took place at the Lead Mills here in Sheffield on Saturday. They did it live. Barry Hearn was in their company. It was recorded right there. Very funny, very spiky indeed, and still available on a podcast. It is well worth listening to. I would highly recommend that you download it immediately. Well, I'm not sure it's going to be fighting talk, but it's certainly time for table talk now. And this is the time of the day that we can chew the fat and talk about some of the issues that rise during the championship. And we'll do so in the company of a man or woman who has their finger on the pulse in the media room today. It's our great pleasure to welcome Radio 5 Live's correspondent, Mr. George Riley. Lovely to have you, George. Thank you very much for popping over. First of all, we're going to talk about the qualifying process for the Crucible because it's different, it's new. What's new and how does it vary from previous years in a nutshell?
Well, the key thing that stayed the same is that the top 16 players in the world come straight here to the Crucible. Before, though, those ranked in the next 16 places, 17 to 32, would turn up in Sheffield the week before, have to win one qualifier against a lower-ranked player to make it through to join them. Now it's a bit of a free-for-all. The next 128 players all thrown in to play 3 qualifiers at Ponds Forge just to make it to the Crucible Theatre, which, as you can imagine, if you're one of those players ranked in the next 16 places outside of the top 16, you're now playing 3 rather than 1. You might not be that happy about it.
And they're best of 19s, and in fact that is the situation that really has ruffled a few feathers on the way in here.
Sport has to be brutal. For the public to engage, they have to understand the sheer ferocity of the qualifying struggle, to understand the beauty of the main event. And what we've seen this year is 128 players in Q School. Everyone, whoever you are, has got to play 3 games. The kid that comes off the street with the first year cue card in his hand has got exactly the same number of games to play as Michael White, who was, unfortunately for him, 17th player in the world. So it's a completely level field. And what it's done, it's thrown up wonderful moments of magic. For me as a promoter, it's thrown up media stories. It's got people interested because it's not as if Rhiannon Evans or Steve Davis have got to win 5 or 6 games as per the old rules. They've got to win 3, exactly the same as seeds 17 to 32, who normally would only have to play 1. And also, of course, the added little Barry Hearn twist. You lose the first round, you get nothing. You haven't made the cut.
I just think it was harsh down the years for some guys to have 4 matches to get here and some guys to have 1 match. I'm a believer that unless you're in the top 16, it should be difficult to qualify.
Bear in mind the subtlety of sports promotion and motivation and punishment that exists in my mind at all times. So I bring in a rule to say, you know, the 16 that have been seeded through, the lucky boys, that are guaranteed £12,000. If they lose their first round match, that money doesn't count towards their rankings. That's enough to see some of them drop out of the top 16, which is obviously the land of milk and honey.
Very well done, young man. Absolutely brilliant. What a fantastic match. A standing ovation from this Crucible crowd. What a fantastic performance from Anthony McGill.
The 16 qualifiers are arriving match fit after taking part in 3 brutal rounds of snooker to earn their place. Does that give them an edge? Possibly.
I've knocked out a seed. I'm pretty sure a few more are going to fall, and it won't surprise me one bit because these guys, these qualifiers, have played so much snooker that they're really tuned in and really on top of the game.
If you're actually here trying to win it, obviously those 3 matches will hinder you when you get late on in the tournament.
Having got the matches under your belt, you maybe feel like you've got some kind of momentum that you can maybe take in.
It's worked in spades this year. It's given me so much media, so much worldwide attention. Its social media has been awash with stories.
I thought it was good watching it back home, obviously because I'm in the privileged position to be in the top 16, but I thought it added a new thing to the game.
Round 1, Rhiannon Evans gets beat narrowly by Ken Doherty. Headline. Round 2, Steve Davis, after a 10-9 victory in the first round, gets destroyed in the second round by a man from Norway.
He's a Crucible debutant, so Sheffield raise the roof for Kurt Mafflin.
Every player will always look at every change as the first question in his head will be, how does this affect me?
Some of the players they're upset because he adds that into most of the tournaments, but then there's other tournaments he's still sticking to the tiered system. If he can do it for the UK Championship, the players are saying backstage, why can he not do it for the World Championship?
If you're ranked 17 in the world, you've got to play 3 matches instead of 1. That's harsh. I have to think, how does this affect the game? You've got to play 3 matches. That's going to be exciting for the fans. It's going to create some media. The second thing you've got to remember is, and this is a really tough one for a lot of players, I've been doing this for over 40 years. Trust me, I know what I'm doing.
He's box office himself, isn't he, Mr. Hearn? But he makes a very good point about the difference between motivation and punishment here. And it's already borne fruit, George, because you look at the positive. You've got the likes of McGill coming through a qualifier. You've got Graham Dott, a qualifier. It's lent him some real fire. And you've had Matt Selt and, of course, Kurt Mafflin pushing really top guys close as well. It's worked to that end so far, has it not?
Well, it has. We've seen that in the first few rounds because they have that momentum of having gone through 3 very, very tough matches. I think the point Graham Dott makes, and he's been perhaps the most vocal player in terms of being anti this, what Barry Hearn has done, and Hearn obviously is seeing the bigger picture here. He's saying, yes, if you want to get through to the Crucible, maybe win a match or 2, great, you'll have a head of steam up, you'll have the momentum, you might be able to catch the odd big player cold, big name player cold, but you won't be able to go all the way because you'll be absolutely shattered come the end of 17 days. The point that Graham Dott's making, guys, is that perhaps we've seen the end of that year where a qualifier can come through qualifying and go on and win the tournament, because by that end weekend they're going to be absolutely gone.
And he will be. He will be. Honestly, it's too much for him to do. I'm old school in that respect. I think, why do you've got to rank? You've got a ranking for a purpose, and you're ranking from 17 to 32. You should play 1 match to come here. You shouldn't play 3 matches. Because if you're Graham Dott and you've come through 10-8s, 10-9s, turned up, he's had a 10-8 first round, believe you me, he gets to the quarter-final, he's going to need an oxygen tank. Honestly, he's going to be shot to bits mentally because he's had all that the week. If you're going to do that and do the 3 qualifiers, then give them a week or a fortnight before they come and play it. But to play the 3 and then come bang in straight away, and then to have another 10-8 the first round, I don't think he can win the tournament.
It's a very good point, actually, Stephen, because Kurt Mafflin and Rob Milkins were one of the last ones to finish on Wednesday evening at Pons Forge. They're the first up on the Saturday morning. And it's quite a lot to ask of a player. And as Barry says, that's the nature of it at the moment. Where do you stand on all this, then?
I think the only thing, if I was number 17, I wouldn't be happy that if, say, I picked up my wild card, I was playing the same matches. I just came up and decided what to play the World Championship. I'm playing the same amount of matches as him. Obviously, we played the whole circuit. In terms of the tiredness thing, I've never subscribed to that. I always think it's a World Championship, and you just the adrenaline. If say you get to the quarterfinals, if you're not up for the quarterfinals of the World Championship, then I don't think you should be there anyway.
But perhaps what you're saying about you picking up a wild card and getting your cue and going in there and having to win 3 matches, the same as Michael White, for example, who fell at the second hurdle in this process, if you like. Isn't that good box office? Don't you subscribe to where Barry's coming from?
Yeah, I agree with that completely. And as he said, he's been doing it for a long time, and I think the players can argue a lot. At the end of the day, he's going to do what he wants.
What would you tweak then, John?
Oh, well, I'd just go back to 17 to 32, having 1 match. Listen, he's talking about it's all box off and it's all... Listen, there's a story in every single match you play. There'll be a story in it from the 17 to 32 playing the qualifiers who come through to play them. There'll be a story in every one of them. There's a story every time there's a tournament played. He's just putting his slant on it. I honestly think if I was 17 in this particular Michael White, I'd be really disappointed I had to play 3 matches.
What about John Higgins' points, George, with regard to consistency? Perhaps enforcing this throughout the snooker calendar, because this is an entirely new thing just for this championship.
I think he does have a point, but this is the World Championship. Can't it be a little bit different? And another thing I would say, a question I would ask, does it actually have to be fair? Is Barry Hearn not just seeing the bigger picture here and saying, OK, and I know you guys as players will disagree because it's players' livelihoods, but snooker, whether we like it or not now, is a minority sport. Does it not need a little bit of a rethink? I get so bored of people saying to me, oh, there's no characters in the game like there used to be. Well, why don't we just open it, which Barry Hearn has done, to a wider selection of players? We see newer faces at the World Championship. We've got more chance of finding new characters, haven't we?
Yeah, but we opened it up a couple of years ago to let everyone play in it, and there was people who shouldn't have been playing on television. There was one boy who embarrassed himself by being on television, wasn't good enough. So if that's the standard that you want to see in a first round of a tournament, I don't know about you, but when I turn on and I watch tennis, I want to watch Djokovic, I want to watch Federer, I want to watch the top seeds. I don't want to see someone who's struggling on a television.
OK, well, you can see both points of it, but from a media perspective, and you're hot foot from the media room, as Barry Hearn says, it's manna from heaven. There are stories everywhere you look, particularly in the run-up, and here we are in the Crucible now. We're still talking about it.
Yeah, it's getting us going in the Crucible, and especially we've been talking about Ding as well. And his inability to win here. It's an inexplicable bad run that Ding has at this great venue.
He does indeed. George, thank you very much for popping over from the media room. We'll let you get back there because it would appear that there is another potentially large story brewing here in the Crucible Theatre right now. Back we go. Mark Davis 4-0 up against the world number 3.
Yes, very interesting comments from everybody. Everybody has their own opinion about the qualifying and everything else, but Mark Davis has come through the qualifying stages and he'll be over the moon with the start he's had. I wanted to say he'd been allowed to have, but it's up to Ding Junhui now to find a bit of form. 5 more frames scheduled in this first session of this match. But from Mark Davis's point of view, Terry, you've got to ignore what your opponent's doing. You've just got to concentrate on your own game and the shot in front of you.
Yes, of course, I was in with Mark now in this dress room, and he's obviously quite comfortable with the scoreline and understands that what's happening out there. He's quite sharp, Mark Davis. He's been around a long time. He's a very experienced player, and he's had a lot of good results in the last few years. He still hasn't won a ranking event, but he's getting closer to it. He's got a number of semi-finals. He's beaten most of the top seeds in the game at one time or other. And what I like about him, John, is that because he's had to go to the qualifying, you know, which obviously he could play 3 matches, as they said. And he said to me, what I don't want to do, he said, is sit in the house and watch the players play in the Crucible. And he didn't.
No, and listen, I mean, when we first turned professional, we all had to play qualifying matches, and when you came through that qualifying round, and you won it as a qualifier, but you got such a buzz out of the fact that you had qualified for the Crucible. I mean, that stood you in good stead for the months to come, didn't it?
Well, tried with that very thin to play a safety shot with no damage. Mark Davis has got a choice whether to replace the balls or put Ding back in. Whether White is now or played himself, so that's your choice.
Just flicked the yellow, but no harm done. Didn't catch the yellow thick enough to stop it finishing up near the baulk cushion, so I'd be happy with that. But Ding Junhui catching the yellow, so that doesn't make it a good safety. Hand on the table. Another good safety shot from Ding Junhui. This looks good. This looks good. Ooh, just a fraction from being a snooker and all the red, but you can just get past the yellow. Of course, that red being next to the black has tied things up somewhat. Well, I thought he could maybe get through to the red that's near the top cushion, but if he can't, then all he can play is a containing safety off the red that's next to the black. I think if he just played it half ball and come off the side cushion to the top cushion, he wouldn't be leaving anything. No other shots on. A mistake. Left a red on here. Just have to trust to luck, I think, for position. But don't miss the red. And it goes. Found a gap which didn't appear to be there, but he's played it nicely enough to finish short of the baulk line and be nicely on the green. It's amazing, Terry. We say he's out of sorts, but you know the way the game is. If he was to get in here and make a good break, it'd soon settle him down and get his cue arm going, because at the moment he's not been hitting the ball well. See what he can do with this opportunity. I'm not quite certain what he did at the interval. I don't know whether he went on the practice table.
4.
Yes, he normally does, Ding, so I think the way the game got, the first 4 frames, he would definitely been out there having hit a few balls just to loosen up, I suppose. He didn't get a lot of table time. And like you say, John, one good effort here and he could be springing into life, and he's very capable of running 4 frames off in no time at all with big breaks. He's done it many times.
Both.
He's usually very, very good in these situations. A lovely touch, normally, when he's in and around the black spot area. Needs to make this effort count, just for his own self-belief.
Well, I think it did help him that the session didn't well came along, because if he'd have stayed out there, he may have continued to struggle, whereas being collected thoughts for what, 15, 20 minutes. I've hit a few balls, as you said, John, on the practice table, and nice to see him when he came out and they were cheering and he had a laugh, you know, and he never used to be like that, but he's got a good sense of humour, Dingus.
Yeah, he's certainly matured over the years. He'll be disappointed with this positional shot, though. He's going to have to cannon the black. Can he develop it? Oh, just it well. Just it very well. Yeah, he was a bit of an introvert when he first came on the scene. Understandable, coming to a strange country. I always take my hat off to the overseas players. It's not easy living out of a suitcase and away from your homeland.
It's not easy living in one either.
No.
I think his problem was he's very shy, John, isn't he? He's very young, obviously, and coming over this place, but... I think since he's picked up the language, he's one of the few of the Chinese players who's come over here, and there's quite a few of them, that's learnt the language. I think that's helped him a lot. Ding, of course, is a very hard-working professional. He's always on the table practicing and does everything the right way. He's very humble considering his country. He's as well known as anybody in China. And I don't mean just snooker players.
28.
He's a very humble man.
Well, he's on this red, but he's looking to see if there's a path he can find. But if he tries to come down on the black, he's not guaranteed to be on the black here. Oh, well, he judges the camera beautifully. And that's what he's capable of. He's got a lovely touch when he's running around the black, when he's on the top of his game, and judged that to perfection. Well played, made it look easy. It was tricky.
Yes, he oozes class, doesn't he, when he's in the balls? He always has. His position play is as good as anybody.
36.
No, he's left himself a tough one in the middle. Got to fit it at pace, isn't it? No room for error here.
37.
Thought I'd never say it, but then we'll be delighted by getting to 37 here on the table. Highest break previously was, I don't know, in the late 20s or after 30 before, but probably been practicing up in the academy in Sheffield and doing hundreds every frame. Bit of a shock to the system when you come here and can't make any breaks. The other thing with Ding, of course, is he's a lot more experienced now than he was when he came over here first of all, and perhaps he'll be able to handle this type of situation better.
.44. .45.
Well, he came round to look where he wanted to leave the cue ball, and he didn't want to leave it there. Didn't want to be hampered. just overrun that. I'm not certain now what he can do with this black. Well, he's having a look round, see if he can pot the black and run off the side cushion, but as I say, being hampered as he is, not straightforward this by any means. Well, I could have done without the kiss on the red. It's spoilt. Perfect position.
50.
Just flick that red. And it just took the pace out of the cue ball. Still on this one, but up for a baulk colour.
53.
Well, he managed to hold it and has finished nicely on the blue. So a possible frame winning opportunity. His ice break before this was just a 27 break, so
59.
He's well past that, but he won't be too happy with that one. He's left this black a little bit awkward. 55 points to lead, but there's still a possible 75 remaining. Just wanted to catch that second red a bit fuller, but just run past it. Wasn't expecting to miss the black, but he's missed easier balls than this today. Used all the pocket, and the way he's looking, he flicked the red. Is he on a red?
66.
The black just struggled in. I think that's end of break. So 62 points the lead, but still 75 remaining. Lots of snooker left in this frame.
Junwei 66.
Caught that red a little too thin. So Ding's long putting hasn't been wonderful so far. 57%. Well, that'll improve it.
Where's the cue ball going?
Mark Davis.
So Mark Davis comes to the table, 58 points behind. Well, I think that's wrong actually, there's only 67 remaining. But of course he potted the red before he went in off. But the point is, he can win here and he doesn't necessarily need high value colours. What he does need is one good pot on this opening red. He's got the pot, needs to be on a colour. I think he's going to be on the yellow, worse way.
1.
He'd rather be on a higher value colour than the yellow, but still got a chance.
He's got to play this with a lot of pace, so cue ball's going to travel a long way down to this red on the left there.
last thing he wanted to do was catch the green, and he may have snookered himself on all the reds here.
3.
Amazingly enough. But as Terry said, he had to force it round, but just couldn't avoid the kiss on the green. 55 points behind, 59 remaining. Ding Junhui looking for one more red. As you can see, he is snookered on all reds. I think the one thing, well, he's playing the two-cushion escape with pace here. But if he misses it, he'll go on a tie. Well, he's played that a few times, that shot. And he's got the snooker back. Dear me, he plays that shot well.
Excellent, good shot. He could have afforded to give a few 4-point penalties away, but not to leave Mark Davis an easy chance. But he can pot this red in the middle if he wants to have a go at it.
Well, I think there's value. If it goes in, he's bound to be on the black. Trouble is, it's so close together. I've decided against it. Maybe feels that a good safety shot. And those two reds that lined up behind the pink may not be in possible positions at the moment. Well,
foul.
Where's the cue ball gone?
Mark Davis 4.
How does it go in from that angle?
Try and do that again. Yeah. Could be there forever trying to play that shot purposely.
And at that pace, oh, disappeared. Another long pot needed now. Good solid pot it was as well. And that's absolutely imperfect on the blue.
1.
Now, I did beg the question before whether these reds just below the pink are available. I don't suggest playing the cannon off the blue, to be honest with you. I'd rather play for the loose red. And then maybe try and disturb those reds off the black. The problem is, with that type of shot, if you catch the pink full in the face, you could stick on it. And you could also knock one to the top cushion. I'll play for the loose red here. Well, he did play the cannon. It wouldn't have been my choice, to be honest with you.
6.
Yes, unless he caught that pretty full on, he was always going to have the cue ball running towards one of the corner pockets and tight on side cushion here. He's got a red in the middle, but best of luck, mate.
Yeah. I mean, if he thought he could take it on and the only red he could leave was the one he was playing, then there might be a bit of value, but is that the case? Decision time.
Once you've looked at it a few times and haven't decided to take it on, you should play the safety.
He did go for it, and he thought the only red he could leave was the one he was playing, and, well, he doesn't look to have done any damage. No real damage. I think maybe the red cuts in, but it'd be very risky to play it.
Ding hasn't had the best of running in this frame, I've got to say that. That in off there and a few other things that's happened. They're not big things, but to Ding, at the moment, with no frames next to his name on the scoreboard, everything will hurt.
But the game's never been any different, has it? You know, you don't take your chances and then all of a sudden the balls turn against you. Nothing at the moment is looking easy to Ding Junhui. You can see problems with every shot he looks at.
Well, he'd like to put a red safe here, wouldn't he? I mean, that's what he's aiming for, but it doesn't look as if there's a straightforward one. Put the red somewhere on one of the side cushions. Protecting a 45-point lead, just 51 points left on the table. But they're all wide open. Should Mark Davis get a chance?
And I don't see much merit in that shot, in all honesty. There's Mark Davis an opportunity now to play a telling safety shot.
Those two reds there, he's taking one of them. By the look of it, look as if there may be a plant in that pocket. So if he played off the one on the right, without looking at it, he may leave a plant on for Ding. But as it turned out, he's moving that red, bringing it back into play. Didn't want it on the side cushion. That's pretty good.
Yep. And that red in the middle of the table, which you think is the one that Ding Junhui may play safe off. If he catches it too thin, he could run into the pink. And of course, if he plays it thick, then that red could come back up the table with the cue ball. Well decided just to play the containing safety, but does this red pass the pink into the middle? If it does, you've got to go for it. Does it go? It does. Got to go for it. If it goes in, you're on the black. Would you believe it? He's run through too far. Quick glance at the scoreboard. He needs a colour. At the moment, he's 44 points behind, and there's only 43 remaining. He's got to pot a colour here, otherwise he'll need a snooker. Thin cut on the pink. He feels he's got more control over the cue ball, but needs the pink to go in. No, not close.
Mark Davis one.
So it looks as though Ding Junhui is going to get his first frame on the scoreboard. He's 44 points in front, and there's only 43 remaining. And a chance now for Ding to put this frame to bed. You'll be just relieved, and we always say you never settle until you get your first frame on the scoreboard. And if this red goes in, no. I mean, don't get me wrong, it's going to be a tough ask here for Mark Davis. I suppose off this red in the open, he could pot the blue and still only need the one snooker. But he's got to get that pink and black into play. 2 reds, 2 blues wouldn't be enough to leave it at 1 snooker required. Oh, thank you very much. He's opened them up for him.
Not intentionally, I don't think. He just didn't quite catch the red full enough. That would give Mark Davis hope, of course.
Absolutely, and he's got the snooker. You always think with any snooker, if the one cushion escape isn't on, then it's always missable, even at this high level. Certainly think the brown's in the way of the one cushion escape for the red in the middle of the table. The one by the yellow, maybe there's one cushion escape there, but you're only seeing half the ball if you come off the baulk cushion. So, what's he playing here? Needs to hit this. Good hit. Good hit. Had to make that angle. It wasn't a natural one. So well played.
It's high risk there for Ding, but he didn't have any choice. He had to play that. He's more than happy with the outcome. Dave's playing safety here. Try to get behind the pink and black, but it's not quite hard enough. It certainly hasn't left in anything easy. A lot of distance between the 2 balls. Tough shot, that one.
Is this red past the pink? It does. I think he can cut it back in. Of course, he still needs a snooker, but he'd like to get at least one of these reds with a high value colour. Yep. Could play the blue. You still only need 1 snooker. Just checking the scoreboard. If he pots the blue, he'll go 38 points behind, 35 remaining. The reason I said the blue, of course, because the blue was unmissable. Now then.
6.
You think he's got the bottle to try and roll up to the blue, John? He would be leaving the red on.
He might be able to get in behind the pink here, you know. He might just be able to get in behind it. Just
6.
A fraction too thick on the red. But Ding Junhui will not be feeling comfortable here. I'd almost put his first frame on the scoreboard. That's not the case now.
It's a good shot. Well played. Should be easy enough to swerve around this, but he's got to get the red safe. Well, that's what we call a bit of luck.
A bit harder, it'd have been tight behind the yellow. He pots the red, frame over. But he's not going for it. But he's not really played a telling safety shot there. I think you've got to play this behind the pink, haven't you, Terry?
Might have to be accurate to get it behind the pink. And with the rest in your hand, it wouldn't be easy, but can't see he's got another choice. No point you trying to get behind yellow and brown there, which is a big target.
Well, that's what he's attempting to do, but the problem is this cube, this red, may be going towards the right corner.
Your famous gap is there, John?
Yeah. And there's another gap. I think he's let. Oh well, the green's going to be a rescue. I thought if that red drifts past the green, it was going to be on for the middle, but. Don't think he can get a snooker off this red, but if you can't get the snooker, make certain you get the object ball safe. Safe enough.
Only got the cue ball in the right place, but he moved the yellow out of the way, so still a few opportunities there for Mark Davis with the way the balls are set to get snookers. Didn't keep it leaving him. 12 foot between the two balls, so near enough, which makes it a bit more difficult to control the cue ball. Oh, he's fluked it. And he didn't want the fluke. I don't think you can cut that pink in.
No. And if he doesn't pot the colour, he's looking at the scoreboard and need 3 snookers. But what colour can he pot? Well, he's taking the black on. This is all or nothing. Yeah, that was a big ask, and I think we can now say that Ding Junhui has got his first frame on the scoreboard. 37 points in front, just 27 remaining. But that was enough. Mark Davis didn't want to concede when it was Ding's turn at the table. That's a gentlemanly thing to do, but Ding Junhui, not impressively, gets his first frame on the scoreboard. Still trails, though, 4-1.
Oh, that was a grueler. 38, 39 minutes worth, and it's just so unlike a match featuring Ding Junhui, isn't it?
I know, that's 5 frames, and how long this has been. Even someone like Ding, world number 3, he'll be so relieved to get his first frame on the board.
2 hours, 44 minutes. This is extraordinary
It's not good.
No, it's not great.
And we could end up maybe with one more frame in it, then they'll be taken off because of this evening session. So you could play the potential 9 frames, you could play only 6 frames, which is just almost unthinkable with Ding playing.
It is, and it doesn't really benefit either player, really, to have this sort of pace, does it?
No, it's just scrappy. I mean, Mark Davis will obviously be happy with the scoreline the way it's going, and he'll also be happy seeing Ding struggle, but it's a strange one. He just doesn't look right at all, Ding at all.
Okay. We're just about to go off the air about 6 o'clock, so we haven't got too much time. And just to remind you of the sessions this evening, because we've got Ali Carter, who's up against Ryan Day, and that's going to be a very interesting match. Ryan Day obviously is a 3-time quarter-finalist here, and we've got Stuart Bingham, the world number 10, resuming 4-5 behind to Robbie Williams. Now that is a very interesting scoreline at this point, isn't it, Stephen?
Yeah, absolutely. And Stuart's going to be under pressure tonight. The first frame's obviously going to be big. We've seen with some of the qualifiers, obviously, if it gets to the stage where Robbie Williams winning, whether he can get across the winning line. But yeah, it's a big test for Bingham tonight.
Yeah, and he went out of the first round at Stuart Bingham last year to Kendori, if my memory serves me correctly. And it's a venue that he doesn't seem to have been entirely comfortable with so far, John.
Not yet. You could actually probably say at home not entirely comfortable, because most of his wins and his successes seems to be Australia or China or Thailand, wherever he plays. Fantastic abroad, not quite done it yet, back home, and obviously he'd like to change that. That match looked quite open today, and Robbie Williams looks a nice scorer in amongst the balls, so Stuart Bingham needs to be on his mettle.
Yeah, I'm actually saying Ali Carter, he's playing Alan McManus, of course, of Scotland, and Alan will have some wonderful memories here. Last year particularly, when he reached the quarter-finals, well into his 40s. He's had a real rejuvenation in his game so far. What do you think accounts for that, Stephen?
I don't know. He's just decided to play and enjoy it more, not put himself under pressure for results. But fantastic the way he's rising up the rankings again. Really pleased for him.
Yeah, and as for Ali Carter, as we see these pictures of Mark Davis and Ding Junhui, Ali Carter obviously has had a heck of a fight the last couple of years. He's beaten cancer twice, and it's great to see him here. His world ranking's been frozen at world number 13, John, to enable him to get here, and I think everybody applauds that.
Yeah, quite rightly too. Absolutely great to see him here. Spoke to him a couple of times. Seems in good spirits. He knows he's in for a tough match though with Alan McManus.
It does indeed. OK, that's all tonight, and don't forget you'll be able to see it on the red button and online, of course. Jason will be back with the day's highlights at 11:20, although times may vary depending on which part of the country that you are watching in. So it really just remains to say thanks to John and to Stephen for their company, and indeed to you for yours. This afternoon we have seen a very nervy win for the world number 5, Barry Hawkins, and a rather classy and crisp first round success from former champion Neil Robertson. So that's it on day 3. We'll catch you again very soon. Bye for now.